Hello, dear Royal Telly viewers. I'm your host, Chloe, here with another intriguing story from the world of royals. Today, we're diving into a tale that's been stirring up quite the controversy. It's not about scandalous affairs or royal feuds. No, this one's about pantyhose. Yes, you heard it right, pantyhose. In a recent interview with Emily Chang, Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, made a candid statement about her time as a working royal. When asked about authenticity, she shared that she was required to wear nude pantyhose, which she felt was a bit inauthentic. She humorously mentioned that she hadn't seen pantyhose since movies in the 80s. She called it a silly example, but a true representation of a time when she couldn't express her authentic self. The reaction from the UK media, however, was far from humorous. They spun this honest comment into a whirlwind of narratives, painting Meghan as disrespectful and hypocritical. Some even suggested that her royal title was the sole reason behind her successful ventures post-royalty. But let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. This isn't about pantyhose. This is about control and a media that's desperate to cling onto a narrative of a disgruntled royal. They've taken a simple human observation and turned it into a weapon of criticism. Meghan wasn't just speaking about a fashion rule, she was talking about a system that controlled her life, down to her fashion choices and even the color of her nail polish. This same system also affected Diana, Princess of Wales, as pointed out by Norman Baker on GB News. He highlighted that both Meghan and Diana were unique individuals with their own thoughts and processes. But this is what irks the critics. The monarchy's refusal to allow women to be themselves, to mold them into a specific, silent, and compliant version of what they believe a royal woman should be. And when a woman like Meghan dares to voice her truth, to say that felt a little bit inauthentic, they lose their minds. So was Meghan's comment a direct attack on the royal family or simply an honest observation? Let's delve deeper. Now, it's important to understand that this controversy isn't about pantyhose. It's about something far more profound. It's about control. It's about a woman's voice, her authenticity, being undermined by a system that prioritizes tradition over individuality. Meghan's comment about pantyhose, as trivial as it may seem, is a window into the life she led as a working member of the royal family. It's a glimpse into a system that dictates the minutiae of one's life, from what one wears to what one says, right down to the color of one's nail polish. Imagine for a moment living under such scrutiny, such control. And yet the media, ever desperate to maintain its narrative of a disgruntled royal, has grabbed this small, honest comment and twisted it into 1,000 different tales of disrespect. It's a classic case of missing the forest for the trees. They've taken Meghan's candid observation and weaponized it, choosing to focus on the pantyhose rather than the larger issue at hand. Meghan wasn't just talking about a fashion rule, she was talking about a system that didn't allow her to be herself, to be authentic, a system that controlled every aspect of her life. And isn't that the real issue here? She wasn't taking a swipe at the royal family, she was just sharing her truth. And that's what scares the critics. The idea that a woman, particularly a royal woman, should have her own voice, her own style, her own identity. They're fine with women being molded into a silent, compliant version of what they believe a royal woman should be. But the moment a woman dares to break that mold, to speak her truth, they lose their minds. So let's not lose sight of the real issue here. This isn't about pantyhose. It's about a woman's right to be herself, to be authentic without fear of being criticized, condemned, or controlled. What Meghan said was not a swipe, but a simple, honest truth. And here we arrive at the crux of the matter, the system. Meghan wasn't just discussing pantyhose. She was referencing a system that dictated every aspect of her life. It wasn't just about what she wore. It extended to what she said, how she acted, even the color of her nail polish. It's a system that leaves no room for individuality, for authenticity. Norman Baker on GB News candidly highlighted how this system isn't new. It's the same system that once controlled Diana, Princess of Wales. Diana wasn't just told what to wear and what colors to use, but she was also told to keep quiet. The system wanted to silence her individuality, her thoughts, her voice. Baker rightly pointed out that both Meghan and Diana are individual people with individual thoughts and processes. They were not just royal figures, they were women with their own identities, their own voice. And this is what stirs up the critics. The fact that the monarchy, that family, doesn't allow for individuality, especially for the women. The system wants to mold them into a silent, compliant version of what they believe a royal woman should be. It asks for a sacrifice of self, a sacrifice of voice and style, all in service of the firm. When a woman, like Meghan, dares to challenge this, to say that felt a little bit inauthentic, it sends shockwaves through the system. It's as if they've forgotten the trials she's been through, the mental health struggles she faced, the defamation she endured, all because she dared to be different, dared to be herself. In essence, Meghan's comment on pantyhose wasn't just about fashion. It was a critique of a system that values uniformity over individuality, silence over voice, compliance over authenticity. It's a system that seeks to suppress the authentic self for the sake of maintaining a certain image. The monarchy seems to prefer a compliant, silent version of a royal woman. But what happens when a woman refuses to be silent? When she chooses authenticity over compliance? That's the question Meghan dared to ask. And it's a question that continues to shake the foundations of the monarchy. But what happens when a woman like Meghan dares to speak her truth? She becomes a target. It's as though the media has a selective memory when it comes to Meghan. When she speaks about her experiences, they act as if she's the first royal to ever feel stifled, to ever feel like she had to give up parts of herself to fit into the firm. But let's not forget, she is not the first. Meghan's experiences are not unique to her, but are part of a pattern that has been seen before. It's the same pattern that Diana, Princess of Wales, faced. Like Meghan, Diana too was a woman who dared to speak her truth. And like Meghan, she too faced the wrath of the media and the establishment. Yet when Meghan speaks, her critics act as if they've forgotten all that. They act as if they've forgotten that Meghan wasn't just talking about pantyhose, but about a system that denied her mental health support when she needed it the most. A system that left her vulnerable to smear campaigns and the most vicious character assassinations. And let's not forget, this isn't just about Meghan. It's about every woman who's ever felt like she had to give up parts of herself to fit into a system, a family, a role. It's about every woman who's ever been told to keep quiet and to know her place. Meghan's critics act as if they've forgotten that she's a human being, that she has feelings, that she has the right to express those feelings. They seem to forget that beneath the titles, the glamour, and the scrutiny, Meghan is a woman who has experienced pain, who has struggled, and who has the right to speak her truth. And what's more, Meghan's truth isn't just her truth. It's the truth of many women who felt stifled, who felt silenced, who felt like they had to give up parts of themselves to fit into a system that doesn't value them. Meghan dared to speak her truth, and for that, she has faced backlash. But let's not forget, she also faced struggles while being part of the royal family. They seem to have forgotten that Meghan was denied mental health support and was left vulnerable to smear campaigns. So, what do we make of all this? Let's take a step back and really look at what's going on here. Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, made a simple, honest comment about her life as a working royal. She didn't attack anyone. She didn't disrespect anyone. She just spoke her truth. And what was her truth? That she felt inauthentic, that she felt controlled, that she couldn't be herself. This isn't about a pair of pantyhose. It's about a woman who was told what to wear, what to say, and how to act. It's about a woman who was not allowed to be herself. It's about a system that values compliance and silence over authenticity and individuality. And when Meghan dared to speak her truth, the media twisted her words into 1,000 different narratives. They accused her of taking a swipe at the royal family, of being disrespectful and hypocritical. But what they failed to see, or chose to ignore, is that Meghan was not attacking the family. She was critiquing the system. A system that, as we've seen, has affected other royal women, including Diana, Princess of Wales. This is not a disgruntled royal lashing out. This is a woman standing up for herself, for her authenticity, for her right to be herself. And for that, she's been vilified and attacked by the media. But let's not forget, this is also about the media's desperate need to maintain their narrative, to control the story. They took a simple, honest comment and turned it into a weapon. So in conclusion, this isn't about pantyhose or a swipe at the royal family. It's about control, authenticity, and the right to be yourself. It's about a woman who dared to speak her truth and the media who tried to silence her. Thank you for joining us today on Royal Telly. If you enjoyed our discussion, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm Chloe, signing off until next time.